in the number of prescriptions. Hydrocodone has gone down 12%. Oxycodone, which is OxyContin, Percocet, that number's dropped almost 12%. And there's one that's called oxymorphone, which the
like morphine
it's regularly known now as Opana, and Opana has killed a lot of our young people in Eastern Kentucky, and it's something that we've just heard in the last few years. Well, since the implementation of Casper, that number has gone down 44% of the amount that has been prescribed. In the last 2 years.
And so many people don't realize how drugs are so dangerous. Meth is so dangerous. You hear these countless horror stories about little kids being affected by these drugs. Innocent people's being affected by this, like rolling meth labs in people's cars explode, houses explode. Even the little child that even drunk some of the acid that time. It's just heartbreaking. And we can put a stop to this because these drugs will kill people.
Right. And there's been the bill that's been passed in front of the state house and senate about putting pseudoephedrine as prescription only, which without pseudoephedrine you can't make methamphetamine. You can't do it. So if we, and it becomes an inconvenience because a lot of people need that medicine. I understand for their their allergy symptoms and for their sinuses, and that's okay. We just need you to go to the doctor to get it, because right now it's so easily available, over the counter at the pharmacies, or some places it's still out. And people can go in and buy the pseudoephedrine and make methamphetamine, and they do it. And so other states that have implemented this, that make pseudoephedrine, prescription only, we've seen, like the state of Oregon, it's gone down to 0 meth labs, in Oregon. And so
very good.
Right. So this is something that we need to do, and what we need to understand is that some of it will have some effect on our personal lives.
Right.
But you know what? It has a huge effect on our personal lives already. And it's destroying lives all around us. And as Christians, it's our duty to help, to be a part of the solution.
Exactly.
To show the love of God
praise God.
To our neighbors. It's the commandment that Jesus gave us.
Right. To see somebody's life change, I'd be more than willing to make a sacrifice. If you couldn't get a certain prescription or something like that. Hey, think about the lives that are dying, and so many we've lost already to drugs, and things is just getting out of whack and out of hand. Even I've heard stories that certain people make drugs out of laundry detergents now. Well,
desperation leads to people trying to do whatever they can. But what we've learned is that the children are the ones who suffer the most, and they don't have a choice, where they're living and what mommy and daddy's doing. And what we found is that the average age of first-time drug use in Eastern Kentucky is 11 years old.
Oh my goodness!
That's the average age. So there's some kids who are starting even younger than that, and that 50% of the children in Eastern Kentucky do not live with either one of their biological parents.
It's just heartbreaking.
They're in foster care, or they have grandparents who are raising them. We're seeing that number rise tremendously, and so we have a major problem.
Well, it affects the innocent too. A member of your family that's on drugs, it affects the whole family because you're so worried over them thinking they're going to overdose or something like that, and knowing that they need help but refuse to get help themselves. And it's just so heartbreaking. You feel like you're at a standstill.
Well, it is one of the most frustrating things that a person could ever go through in their life, to have a family member who is addicted to drugs. You know, your brain is made up of you know, chemical balances, and so when those are interrupted, you know, by drug use and by addiction, then it changes, and so that person changes, their mindset changes, their priorities change, and so it takes time, but it also takes some tough decisions.
Exactly.
You can't be in a position to just enable that person to continue to exist in the manner that they are. There has to be an intervention. There has to be a line drawn that can't be crossed. And so a lot of the times, you know, we find ourselves trying to love that person.
Yep.
And we do indeed love that person, but if we are helping them in their drug addiction, then we are, in a sense, part of the problem.
Exactly.